What's up, cyberspace? It's Xero. Let me grab something on my bookshelf real quick. This book. This is my book of knives. So more than one person asked me to do a video about my knife collection. So I thought maybe we could do more of like an overview than a review, and we could talk about maybe different knife lock mechanisms and opening and deployment mechanisms. And I could compare and contrast them and talk about some of my favorites. So here's the first knife I got. This is the Spyderco Efficient. I talked about it in a whole video. I added an aftermarket clip in my Journey Tool Company video. You can see the lanyard hole in this guy is way back here in a strange spot. It's got the patented Spidey hole. You can use that to pop it open with any finger you want. This is a typical compression lock. You can see between the G10 scales, there's these metal liners. There's a bar right in here. You push that over, and the knife is able to slide down. And the idea is you use your thumb right here to make sure that you don't get cut. And it works pretty well. I definitely got really good at the Spidey flick with this knife, he says, and then can't Spidey flick. So this was a cool first knife. This is a budget knife made in China. I really enjoyed the front finger choil ergonomics on this guy. When I say ergos, I'm talking about ergonomics in the hand feel. It definitely feels good. The jimping here helps, but it's just flat and round. You gotta kind of push down when you cut. The aftermarket clip feels okay. It kind of pokes in the hand a little bit, but it makes up for it in the carry. When you see this guy in the pocket, the deep carry clip makes it completely vanish. The lanyard hole actually becomes almost useless getting that far down. So that's the Efficient. The next knife I got is the Savivi Elementum in brown micarta. I put a little fob style lanyard on the back of this. This is a flipper. The flipper tab's designed where you sort of just run your finger down the side of the knife and it'll deploy out on that. This is not a front finger choil, this is a sharpening choil. You can put your finger there, but I wouldn't suggest it. So you gotta put this in here. The ergonomics are good. This knife comes with a deep carry clip on its own that's pretty good. It's not the most comfortable again in the palm, but it's pretty good. This knife is very flat and skinny, so there's not a ton to like grip, but at the same time there's not a ton in your hand, so it feels pretty good. Jumping on that back at the top, again, that shape, you gotta push down. But man, do I really like this blade detailing here with the thicker part on the top before it starts to come down. So I really learned this knife is super sharp out of the box. When it's a liner lock as well too, you can see right here in the lock bar, you push it back to the side, you really got to use the back side of this choil to stop the knife. Take a moment and get your fingers out of the way and close it, because like I bit myself a lot with this. The fob, I really use it to get a little extra grip on my hand. I felt like I was having trouble doing this flipper action. Like when I got my hand into the right position here to do this, I'm only just barely gripping the edge of the knife. Put that fob in there, it gives your pinky something to hold on to and makes it work better in my opinion. So yeah, that's a traditional flipper. Savivi Elementum. My next knife, arguably one of my favorites, is the Spyderco Pair 3. This is wider than the Efficient, you can see. But at the same time, it's about the same height, it's about the same thickness. This one does not have a back spacer, while the Efficient does. That makes this heavier. I put an aftermarket deep carry clip on this guy as well. You can see that the lanyard hole is in a much more logical position on this knife as well too. Speaking of lanyards, check out this sweet beige bead on my lanyard. Flage. It's not the sponsor of this video, but man, let me tell you, if you want to get some sick beads for your knife, for your lanyard, for your zipper pull, Flage has got you. All kinds of beads. Anything you're looking for, Flage. Not the sponsor of this video. So, there is no sponsor of this video. Spyderco Pair 3. Same awesome front finger choil ergo on this. The back part of the handle rises up just a little bit, and it gives you that spot where you know it's in the right spot. Check out the ramping though back here on the back. Just when you got this knife in your hand and you're trying to use it and push or whatever, this just really, it makes a huge difference. The other thing that's really cool about this knife is it has a compression lock. You'll notice the lock bar here looks very similar to our other locks that we've been looking at, but instead of it being here on the front of the knife, it's on the back of the knife, which means that your fingers are completely out of the way and you can just sort of do whatever you want. Now, I've adjusted this knife, so it's not, it's a little more drop shut action, drop shutty, finger guillotine kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely like being able to just hold this down and be able to deploy or undeploy this knife. This is probably my most fidgety knife, the way the spider hole works, how really lubed I have, not lubed, but loose that I have the pivot, but at the same time there's no blade play, it's still completely centered. I just ever so slightly loosen that. So yeah, that is a compression lock on my Spyderco Pair 3. Up next, I got a different kind of knife altogether. This is the Koch Wasp. This is a teeny tiny little friction folder. And then I added a bead from Combat Beads. This is a green micarta. It spins. It's really also pretty fidgety on its own. Not to mention it looks super cool. It's one of those things, I'm not going to unscrew it. The actual knot in the leather is inside of this. This part unscrews and you put the thing in it. So yeah, this is a friction folder, which means that there is no lock mechanism on it at all. Just the friction action keeps it kind of open, because the idea, and once again, you got to put your thumb here so that the knife bites into your thumbnail so you can close it all right. This little bar right here is part of the shape of the knife itself. And just as you push down on that weight pushes it into position, and then there's a bar in the back that stops it from going any further than this. Once it's out, pushing down on the knife, you put your finger right on that jimping and you cut. There's no worries about it having to go anywhere because you're pushing down on the part. If you want to close this knife, you really have to like put your finger up here in the front and make an action to close it. Small knife, very small. The only time I've cut myself on this is in the opening. You kind of have to learn the way that you do this. You have to turn it away from your palm. I kind of nicked my palm a few times when I first got into this knife. I love the size of this guy. He's so teeny tiny. He fits so good in my fifth pocket. I like to just fold it right like that, toss him in here. See ya. No worries about that guy at all. When you want him out, you just pull him right back out and you're ready to go. The combat bead makes this almost a whole hand grip with that little extra on there. My only gripe with this knife is the shape of the blade. It looks super rad. Look at this thick and thin part, but the backside is completely flat. All of the sharpers on the one side. I almost feel like this is a left-handed knife because of that, but small jobs, this thing just kills it. There's no problem at all. It's ridiculously sharp. And if I'm just opening a couple things, it's no big deal. But if I'm going to do a serious job, I'm probably going to get a bigger knife. That leads me to our last knife that we're going to talk about in this video. This is my newest knife as well, too. This is the Damn Designs Djinn in full titanium in the black wash. This guy has both Spidey hole style and what's called a front flipper. A front flipper is this tab up here is on the front instead of on the back like our other one was. It's more designed for you to use your thumb to pull this guy out. My experience with the Koch Wasp has definitely shown me that that's the same kind of grip that you do like this with a front flipper, so you get your hand out of the way. Now, this guy has a similar but different lock mechanism. Since this full body is all titanium, the actual lock bar is just a piece of the outer, I guess you'd call it scale, but you push it to the side and that's the lock mechanism at all. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Once again, you really got to use your thumb here to stop this ridiculously sharp harpoon-shaped blade from finger guillotining you. This is a drop point, a bit smaller. I don't know if it's going to pick it up on the camera, but there's a nice little ramp right here. Feels excellent in the finger. The index finger really just rolls right into place on that guy. The jimping on the back, same story. This ramp is not what you like, though. This harpoon is used for a different thing, I think. It's not where you want to put your finger. I'm going to put a lanyard on this. I've only had this a couple days. The clip is not ridiculously deep carry on this guy. Did I say this is a frame lock? This is a frame lock, where the actual frame of the knife is the lock mechanism. I can't decide if I like the front flipper or the Spidey hole better on this knife. It's a hard call. Being a big Spyderco guy, like, I want to use a Spidey hole. Like, that's what they're there for. But it's a front flipper, so like I feel like I should use a different deployment mechanism that I'm not used to using. So We'll see how I feel after I put a, hopefully, Plage bead on this. Again, this video is not sponsored by Plage. It should be. But Plage, if you want to get the best beads around, do you want squishy lanyard beads for your zipper pulls? Plage, he's got them. But no, don't go there. I want all the Plage beads. So get out of here. Don't do that. Anyways, back to knives. I want to show you some more pocket action to end this video. So here's our Efficient. Down here. This is my Prometheus Lights Beta QR, by the way. Normally, I put my knife all the way in the back, and then I put my flashlight in front, so that's how we'll do it. So here's our Efficient. Then here's the Pair 3. The deep carry clip makes this knife so much better. Sweet lanyard. If you're going to a grocery store or something, maybe you're going to hide your lanyard, but generally speaking, I rock out with my lanyard out. That's what it's for, you know what I mean? So, here is our Savivi Elementum. This guy, he feels pretty good in the pocket, I gotta admit. It's a very, very thin knife, so it comes down to here, and you almost can't feel that dude in the pocket at all. I already showed you the Wasp. I fit him in the 5th pocket here. Here's the djinn. I still haven't quite decided where I want to carry this guy. The pocket clip does the needful, right? And it's a tiny knife, but it sticks out way more than any of my other deep carry knives do. So I've been experimenting with fifth pocketing him too. And, you know, if you put it in there and just straight down, it hits me a little bit. It's not the most comfortable thing. But I've noticed if you just forsake the clip altogether and just put it in the pocket a little deeper, I don't feel that at all. So this is how I've been carrying it. I've been embracing the flashlight in the regular pocket with my wallet deep in here, and then the knife in the 5th pocket, generally speaking. So I've been EDCing these 2 knives a lot recently in the 5th pocket. But if I got work to do and I'm really going to cut a bunch of boxes or I'm going to do some stuff, the Pair 3 is the guy I'm bringing in here. So let's talk about the summations. I kind of have already given it away which knives are my favorite. This is the job doer right here. But it's big, like, again, with the pocket stuff. When this knife is in my pocket, it's all the way down to here. It's definitely the biggest knife that I have. It's not a big knife. And, like, I can do this is okay, but I feel it. It pushes up here on the top of my pocket. I feel that. Is that okay? Yeah, it depends on what I'm doing, you know what I mean? If I'm just, like, hanging out with my friends or whatever, like, this is a big knife to be going out in public with or whatever, you know? People get freaked out by stuff like that. That's why I've been liking the smaller knives. This dude is very interesting. Titanium metal it's heavy, you know what I mean? But titanium is not very heavy. This is super light. Like I can't get over like the weight compared to like my Elementum. Like my Elementum weighs more. I mean it's a bigger knife, but at the same time, like if you look at the blade on this guy and you look at the blade on this guy, I mean this is a thicker blade all around, even though that this is bigger. But the weight difference is astronomical. This guy's teeny tiny. One of the other features I wanted to talk about with this guy is this little spot right here. I've never seen this on another knife, and I love it. You put your ring finger right in there, so when you do the spidey flick, you have like a really good spot to, wow, I messed my spidey flick up twice in a row. A really good spot to grip when you're in there, and it sort of like tells you to get your fingers out of the way when you're using the liner lock too. You know, I said before that the compression lock is my favorite lock mechanism because your fingers are just out of the way. You know, a compression lock on this would be cool, like, but holding it on the back like this, I don't feel like you're as secure as holding on the back of this Pair 3. Because, like, I've still got some grip down here with my bottom fingers as well. With this, if I was using a compression, it would be a stretch. So I think it makes a lot of sense to use a lock like this to close it and keep it in your hand and more secure. With a smaller knife, I think that makes a lot of sense. And listen to this. Whew! That is one thing about a metal-on-metal knife, is that sound. That is hot. I dig that a lot. So, I mean, this guy, he's been getting a lot of pocket time lately. It's my newest knife, though, too, so the newest thing is always the coolest thing, right? But, so which one do you like? Why don't you put it down in the comments? Which one would you carry if you were me? Why don't you tell me what you think my next knife is that I should get in my collection? You'll notice I don't have any bench-nated knives. Maybe I should get one? I don't know. So yeah, tell me what you think. I think I'm going to end this with a Spidey Flick challenge, because why not, right? Let's see what I got. So, start with the index. Middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger. Don't mess it up. There we go. Thumb. Spidey drop. Switch hands. Yes, very, very methodical on that thumb flick. Middle. Index. Ooh, I messed it up in the ring. Oh, failed the challenge on YouTube. You suck, Xero. Tell me down in the comments I suck. Anyways, keep practicing, everybody, right? Here's the pinky. Wow, the pinky better than the ring. I do the drop in this hand, too. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, little challenge. End the video. Like, subscribe, press the bell, do all those things that put me in the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you on the next video. Later.